Hello, my name's Lindy Cowling. Welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk. My email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. And this short video is entitled While You Were Sleeping. And if in the background in this video you can hear the wind whistling around like a horror movie outside, that's because there's a big storm across the UK at the moment. We don't have it so bad where I live, but up north there's a state of emergency up there. Anyway, it's whistling around because I live, there it went, I live on a hill. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's quite loud. It's quite loud. Sounds like one of those old Hammer House of horror movie things whistling out there. Anyway, very apt. While you were sleeping. You wouldn't get much sleep with that storm, I shouldn't think. So I've called it While You Were Sleeping is because I talk to many people during sessions all over the world, and they and myself reach a state of personal evolution, which is spiritual evolution, which is your soul evolution, where we find that you start to go out of synchronicity, you start to be on a different wavelength to people around you, and those people around you would fall into all categories, all walks of life, all forms of relationships. So to simplify that, I mean they start to go out of resonance, out of sync on the different wavelength to their husbands, their wives, their lovers, their partners, their colleagues, their friends, you know, all walks of life, associates, you know, there's no limitations on that. That has been happening for some time. I would say personally I've seen it happening in the last few years and around clients and in clients' lives for the last few years, at least 2 or 3 years. And really clients get very distressed about this, and when it first happened to me I got distressed about this because as human beings, like I've said before, we don't really enjoy change very much. We don't like change very much, and we like the status quo to remain the same. And when we get into situations where suddenly we're not in harmony or resonance with people that we've loved all our lives, or we've been married to for a very long time, or we've worked with for a long time, or we've been friends with for a long time, or even people that haven't even been in your life very long, you know, a couple of years or something. It doesn't have to be for a long time. Because we like things to stay the same as human beings, and that really falls back to not only security and comfort and familiarity, but you know, we genuinely love those people. We genuinely care for those people, and you know, suddenly you're not in sync with one another anymore, and it doesn't have to be that you fell out with them. You know, my clients don't say they've suddenly fallen out with these people. They're just not on the same page anymore. And what's happened is they've changed frequency, like I've been, you know, talking about for the last about 15-16 months now. We knew this was coming, and this was going to be an inevitable part of people awakening and growing, is that not all people awaken and grow at the same rates. And by our very nature, because we are energetic beings, you know, we are formed of energy, we are not designed to stay static. So let me clarify what I mean there. if you're really, really fortunate, you can be in a workplace or a personal relationship or a marriage or a partnership or a friendship that grows with you, which means you keep sync with one another and you open and you grow and you enhance one another's growth and you are complementary to one another and you continue to elevate at the same rate. For most people that's not the case, but for some people it is, but for most it isn't the case. For most people, one will expand at one rate and one will expand at a different rate, or they won't expand at all. They'll stay fairly stagnant, or both will stay fairly stagnant. When this kind of thing happens, and it's happening with increasing frequency, it's happening more often because people are opening up so fast now. It does cause distress within the people it's happening to and to the people around them. There's no two ways about that. And I can't say that it's not an uncomfortable part of the process, and I can't say that it doesn't involve some grief, because it does. Because people, like I say, you love, suddenly you're not in sync anymore, and you don't even have to fall out with them or anything. You just go like this, you know, away from one another. And there's no division here between family, your very best friend, your very close family. You know, there really isn't any division. Work colleagues that you've worked with maybe for a long time, always got on with, suddenly you feel like a fish in the wrong goldfish bowl. Now people say to me, the same kind of thing, you know, whoever I'm working with across the world, why is this happening and what the hell are we supposed to do about this then? Because it doesn't feel very comfortable. And what I say, you know, is part of the process of opening up, of awakening, of ascending, of coming into the heart, of coming into who you truly are. A sad fact is, when you come into who you truly are, without all the programming and all the society stuff on you and people's expectations and everything else, some people in your life are going to keep pace with that and match your frequency and vibration, and others are not. And yet others will not accept who you truly are and will wish you to be the way you were before. And so, you know, there is some friction there, and it's a natural evolutionary step that if it's happening to you, you can't bypass it. Yeah, you can try and lock it down and suppress it and hang on and hope it will balance out, and for some people it will balance out, because like I say, not everybody evolves at the same rate, and it could be that, you know, friends around you or colleagues or partners or lovers or whoever you're married to, or whatever form it takes, opens at the time they are able to open, and suddenly you're in sync again. So there are, you know, there's not any hard or fast rules. Really, the only thing I would say is it's all about being who you truly are and true to yourself. Now, why I've called this While You Were Sleeping is because I don't mean this in a detrimental way, but when I was using the term awakening and awakening to who you truly are, not everybody awakens to who they truly are. And I use the analogy that they're sleeping, so they are continuing in a more linear form of existence, what you would call third dimensionally. And there's this process of unawareness, you know, they're not interested in awakening, or it doesn't register, or they're not aware of it, or they are in resistance to it because they're working through some stuff, or they're afraid of it, or, you know, there are blocks. there are a multitude of different things. That, sorry, when I said that, I thought it was a storm for a minute. I sounded a bit, the computer just went completely then. The wind is whistling round, so I thought we'd lost it then. Yeah, so there are multitude of reasons why they aren't also awakening at the same rate as you or alongside you. It doesn't mean they've done anything wrong. You know, everybody's different. I mean, if we take it down to the soul level, the soul has these opportunities. You know, the spirit that you are has these opportunities, but people don't always take them, or they get caught up in the barbed wire along the way, or they get distracted, or they get a little bit lost along the way. You know, there's a million reasons why people evolve at different rates and make the decisions they make. And yes, millions do make the decision that's not for their ultimate best. Millions make the decision when they're not listening to their higher self or their oversoul or whatever you want to say, you know, or they're not listening to the knowing. They're not, because they're too fearful of the consequences of listening to that. And there's no judgment in that. It's part of the human experience. What it does lead to is when you are not able to listen to yourself or just be who you truly are, it does lead to suffering. I mean, there is no two ways about that. You know, it leads to some form of suffering. You know, keeping that in lockdown and keeping that jammed in. So while you were sleeping, you know, there is a sadness to that. It's a bit like, you know, especially when you feel that it's not leaving people behind so much as that, you know, you're falling away from one another, and you will wish sometimes that those people were alongside you, but they're not alongside you because they're just not able to be, or they're not choosing to be. They might be later on, or they may never be. And you know, that's part of accepting that, and there is grief in that. I mean, it's true, there is grief in that. I mean, I think that's, I brought out a video a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. I think I called it "Dying into Birthing: Why It Rocks and Sucks." You know, it does. It rocks and it sucks. That part of it sucks. You know, and ultimately, all you can be is who you truly are. That's all you can be. What is starting to happen, and actually, I have to be honest, I've actually started to be drawn to kind of starting to call in my own soul family now, my spirit family now. Is what will happen is, after a period of time, your own, what we call soul family and spirit family, if you are willing to step forward with them in some capacity, don't put limitations on the capacity, you know, may come around you to co-collaborate or to support you or to be players, you know, in the drama of life as well. I do feel that's that is really whistling round out there. It's like special effects. I do feel that's part and parcel of the changes that are going on now. It's natural when you come away from an energetic, I was going to say an energetic program. It really has been programming in the third dimensional, really. When you come away from that, there is a period where you're in a space, almost, it seems, solo, almost, it seems. Well, the word I hear my clients use is isolated. I understand what they feel there, when so many and so much has fell away from them that they feel like, well, you know, this sucks. You know, I'm here and I'm here on my own. But there's this period of time, I see it like a footprint on a wet beach. And when you make that footprint on a wet beach, when the tide is coming in, that footprint that you made kind of whooshes with water. It stays like this for a bit, and then it fills again and expands, and gradually is taken by the whole ocean. It's that kind of analogy. there is a period of time where I think the old school talk on that would have been calling it the void, that kind of space. I just see it the way I'm saying now, and what I'm seeing in my clients and what I've experienced as well. You step into a space, and part of that is to recalibrate, rebalance, be sure within yourself who you truly are without all the other noise and distraction, before you know you are truly in the knowing and listening to your higher self. And you're then, if you so choose and if you so wish, you know, able to step forward with other compatible vibrations and frequencies. You know, old school speak for that would be soul family, but also, you know, people that are able to match you heart to heart, where it is not an effort, there is no adjustment to frequency to be made, no draining. It's just a natural resonance of 100% authenticity, which is a natural byproduct of being in the heart. So on that note, it's just a short one. Actually, it's a short one because I'm on a roll tonight in this crazy weather. So I might quickly record another couple. I don't know if I'll bring them all out at once, I'm not sure yet. But I just, you know how I work, I tend to film when it feels right to film, so I might do another couple in a minute. I'll see how I feel. Alright, I'll love you and leave you. Take care, and be back with you soon. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.